This village is full of undead and stickmen, all watched over by a young green dragon. Hey, this is for DMs. Be gone, players. We need to give other encounter options for this village. First, let's see how the book does it, and then we'll improve it. Here's the map. To me, this is a crazy amount of bad guys for one little thing. What is pretty much pointless anyway. We have these ash undead things, twig blights, needle blights, young green dragon, and I'm gonna kind of change some of the things up to be new. Radoth, the druid type, is in area 4. We also have spiders. It's just too much going from battle to battle to battle to battle for a few potions, really? Maybe a +1 axe of some kind? I have my post-its, I have my notes. Let's go through the areas one at a time. Room 1 is a cottage and has 2 twig blights, but you should just say they look like, you know, trees, or don't even mention them. The trees surrounding a cottage. Area 2 used to have 6 twig blights, now only has the 2. But the 2 from 1 and 2 from 2 merge together wherever the players go. There's a chest to be found with some money. U3 is a pub called the Brown Horse. It has 6 ash zombies inside. We'll look at the stats later, and we're certainly going to swap them out for some other monsters. So yeah, the pub's just full of zombies, Shaun of the Dead. Down this left-hand side, in number 4, is Radoth, who the players might have heard of. This is a camp in an old building. She's a member of the Emerald Enclave, nature types. And she's good at coming and going without causing any problems with the hordes nearby. But she is concerned about the green dragon living in Area 7. Radoth the Druid will ask the players to help her, maybe, or do it for her, get rid of the dragon. I would possibly replace this dragon. We'll see about that later. Area 5, I mean, look how busy it is. It's a farmhouse crawling with 12 blights, with 12 twig blights, 2 needle blights. Seems like overkill, really. That's just a massacre. One way or the other, whoever does it. In 6, they've thrown 2 giant spiders. Sticky, difficult terrain, but the treasure is a +1 leather armour and a potion of healing, with a little bit of money. But it's just combat after combat, that's my problem. Area 7 then, the old tower right at the top middle. Venom Fang. A young green dragon could be problematic when there's not many places to rest. Hey, don't get me wrong, it could be damn cool. Now this dragon has some treasure that contains the usual money, some sellable items, spell scroll of Misty Step, spell scroll of Lightning Bolt, and a dwarvish +1 battle axe with HEW, Hugh, on the axe head. There's nothing else to it, but it could be cool. 8, the old smithy, 4 ash zombies. A messy room, but if you clear it, you can find 4 diamond-shaped plates of browny gold colour. They are brass dragon scales. Can be sold for blah blah blah. You've seen the book. Now, I would allow players to go to a smithy or somebody and ask for those scales to be either plated onto their weapon, onto their shield, onto their armour, and I'd give a +1 to AC. Not on the weapon, but... And whatever brass dragons are resistant to, whether it is poison or something, then maybe the shield or the armour gets that, because that's how it works for brass dragons. Area 9 is a bit of a ruin, but Myrna, the prisoner from the Red Brand hideout location, she told you that there's a family heirloom there, and it's a necklace worth 200 gold. Area 10 is the town square, there's a statue there. Really, nothing else. Area 11 is the old garrison. More ash zombies, which is this my problem. Let's replace the ash zombies with something else. We'll find out what soon. The same with Area 12. More twig blights, more needle blights. Come on, let's do something. Area 13, cultists, basically, 4 cultists. Here's the potion of flying, and that's pretty much it. Let's improve it. Okay, hear me out. We have mostly twig blights, right? They're fun, yeah, sure. Throw quite a few of those in. It gives us 2 needle blights. Surely we can swap some out for vine blights just to mix it up. Yeah, they're different challenge rating, but just mix it up. But I'd go further than that. Some of these down this side. How about using a shroud? Pretty much a ghost. We've already got zombies. Just do a family of these, 3 or 4 of them. It's different, right? It's even got radiant vulnerability. That's something that most 5e things don't do correct. Yeah, Toba Beasts, vulnerabilities, but what do they do? Necrotic damage. and the target's score is reduced by 1/2 of that amount. If you got a 0, you're dead. If your strength score goes to 0. So let's say we're going to take some of these crews out of places. You can always replace it with like one special new thing, one of these. But, you know, they don't have to fight it, do they? It's just cool to get an attack in and let it move on its way. If it really is a ruined village, something like this could easily make its way through there. Yeah, it's got a nasty bite. Maybe pull your punches if you have to. If they've played D&D for long, they won't know what that is. And as for replacing the dragon, 2 things immediately spring to mind. Tome of Beasts 3. This is a Shire Giant. Challenge 8, speaks common, makes 3 attacks, grabs and throws people. That is more interesting than just another dragon. You're in its place, you're in its village. He's quite happy without you, thank you. No one's expecting you to fight it to the death. It's up to you if they fight it at all. If the Ruin of Thundertree is throwaway, we can do what we want with it. We can have a mini adventure in this village. Whatever experienced you are as a DM, use this as an experimental time. It's not going to harm the story. The players are going to enter and explore. They might explore every single location, which would make sense, particularly if you fire a map to the TV or you let them see the village map. I think putting tripwires and traps that make noise alerting certain hordes to come out of buildings is just more interesting than opening up a door and it's got something in it, opening up another door, it's got something else in it, you know? Make it almost like a horde problem where they have the option to run away. But if we're going to use like the Shire Giant or whatever it was called, the tripper noise thing blows up, right, and then you hear moaning, groaning, snapping of twigs, these things come out, but they in turn trigger the giant, and the giant is there with his pitchfork, and he thinks it's his village, so he effectively is stabbing the twig blights, zombies, cultists, whoever is approaching the characters. Now, he's not on their side, but he's, you know, stay out of my village. It's just more interesting. Now, if they want to root around finding treasure, they can. They can take down... It's one of those... See what it is? It's one of those baddies who comes out of his cave and then starts to walk back. And if you let the alarm cool down, you could plot a trap to trip him up or to catch him. They could have him in his cave, trigger it, and when he comes out, you get out of my village. And they could take him down cleverly. If they do that, we need to give them some better finds. Table fables. What do we got? I'm a bit of a game breaker, I admit. I just pulled this out and went straight to magic items, D100. The first thing I saw was an impossibly light, floaty cloak that allows the users to turn completely invisible for 1d6 minutes a day. Nothing more to it than that. It's completely made up, and you would have to allow that to be found. But I'm saying if they're going to face down a troll, that would make... Will it be cool? 2, you find a good magic item. Now, yes, it could be a game changer. Don't forget, you can rip that damn thing. They use it once, twice, 3 times, you're like, nah, I'm having enough of this. You say, you caught it on the nail. It's ripped. It's no longer visible. It's useless. That's your call. They had fun while it lasted. What about this? A leather envelope that perfectly cooks whatever is placed inside in 1d12 minutes. Random, but it's a novelty item. Could be put to good use. They could torture people by having their hands shoved in it and cooked. It's just funny. It's just memorable. That's what it is. But anyway, that's just, you know, trinkets and stuff. So yeah, alright, blights, twig blights. They have +3 to attack, vulnerable to fire. Okay, but you can do different size ones. Make one twice the size with twice the damage. You know, rather than having, why not merge some undead and some twig blights together? Like twig blights and zombies fight, right? And why don't we do something like the zombies have walked through loads of bramble bushes and they're wrapped in like thorns and stuff, so when they're reaching out for you, they're shredding your skin. You don't even want to be grabbed by these undead because they live in an overgrown rose cottage. Alright, you just tweak things so it's not just zombie twig blight, cultist. If it's all about this weird psionic green weirdness, then just have either the dragon or a mini boss of some kind. Have it be affected by this weird crystal shard, and all will be revealed later. You don't need to even think why it is. just is. And then the Ruin of Thundertree becomes more interesting than it currently is. Ash Zombie. Okay, so armor class of 8 is very low, but easy to hit. Why wouldn't it be? The speed is only 20 feet, so shambling along like a zombie horde. I guess that makes it a little bit easier, but you could have them dashing first round from all around to have some sort of zombie apocalypse going on in this village. Poisoned effects aren't gonna work, so that's why they're alright around the green dragon, who primarily does poison, right? But what's cool about these zombies is that each one that hits 0 hit point, you make a constitution throw. DC's 5 plus whatever damage killed it. This can get confusing, right? So do this. I would say for every dead zombie, roll a 20-sided dice. On a 13, unlucky for some, or above, the zombie gets up on 1 health. And I would keep doing that until the zombies never roll high enough, or the player's like, I lop its head off. I would say they always reanimate upon rolling 13 plus, even if that means you have to bloody put the thing down 5 times. That, to me, is a real zombie. And there's somebody who watched Evil Dead when he was 9. Ash Puff, because we have to remember that there's a looming volcano within the lava splash of this place. That's how the place got ruined, I think. What's this? Ash Puff. The first time the zombie takes damage. Oh, it goes... Is that right? Yeah. DC 10 con save or gain disadvantage on attack rolls. Okay, so they take a lot of putting down. This has really changed the game from being normal zombies. Okay. You know what then? Up the north end of town, perhaps, whichever volcano side, you could have the ash zombies, and on the down further away, you could just have regular zombies. That mixes it up somewhat. Those zombies go down easy. These, boy, they're covered in, obviously, like Pompeii ash, if that's not offensive. A +3 as they pound at you, or, yeah, they don't really have claws, are they? 1d6 plus 1 damage. Because there's so many, just do 4 damage every time. Pretty good. Twig Blight then. So there's a hell of a lot of these, as we've already discussed. AC 13, not too shabby. Vulnerable to fire, double damage, right? Have the players just see houses grown with vines and twigs and trees outside, so they don't I try and say a lot of the time they don't see where they are. They have them hitting bushes in a paranoid way, like, are they only in that bit? They have blind sight. Yeah, doesn't need its eyes to see you. It just knows. It's motionless, looks like a dead shrub. +3 to hit. 3 average damage, if you want to do that. Walks like a humanoid tree person. One thing I would add, if they are vulnerable to fire, how about some stay on fire unnervingly long, and you've lit them up on now there's a burning tree walking towards you, which is going to do an extra d6 damage of burning on top until it drops down dead. You know, 1 extra scary component, even if it's just 1 or 2. It's the variety, isn't it, that makes it interesting. And there's potions. You can throw health potions, someone gets downed. My suggestion to possibly throw in a shambling mound to mix things up, large plants take up 4 squares, have a lot of hit points. This could well be a lot, so ignore the hit points. Just have it create a cool moment. It can only engulf 1 medium target. Ignore it. This lumbering, huge twig blight monstrosity, you know, those massive trees you can get, what have been around forever. It has been polluted with this, whatever gives it animation, and it can come and grab like 2 players, 3 players, and engulf them, and they all have to, you know, getting crushed inside slowly, very slowly, and take it right down to suffocation rules. Before, upon trying to crush them, one of the limbs of the trees snaps and they're able to push out. Another potential cool moment, throwing the rules out of the window, making your players feel like they are awesome. We're not trying to kill here, we're trying to entertain. And finally, Radoth, the druid. Pulled up this standard druid stat block just in case your players go crazy and want to kill the dude. I said woman, isn't it? Kill the lady. Who has she got? Druidcraft. What exactly is that? I'm a DM. I don't do spells much. And I must say, this is my bugbear. That, yeah, you've got a list of spells. I've got to then look up all the different meanings of each spell. You know, in 3.5, it had a very little bar of text, like magic missile, 3 darts, automatically hits, and you're like, alright, yeah, I remember that one now. That's helpful. This isn't. You create a tiny, harmless sensory effect that predicts what the weather will be. You instantly make a flower blossom, I get that. You create an instantaneous harmless effect. Leaves, puff of wind, odour of skunk. You can snuff out a candle, or a small campfire, or a torch. Alright, interesting. Produce flame. You can produce a flame. Shillelagh, you make your little staff go. You Darth Maul lightsaber it for extra damage. Entangle. Okay, this in a fight, yes. Coming up, holding a person in place, making them easy to hit. Long Strider, move faster. Speak with animals. Thunderwave. Okay, so Entangle and Thunderwave would be the first two things I did as a druid. Bark Skin, your AC goes up. Okay. So, attack the druid, they attack the druid, bark skin. And I would do that as soon as they, almost as a reaction. I'm not sure about that. That's maybe too cheeky. But the first thing the druid would do is bark skin to make it harder. Then Thunderwave, then Shillelagh. Well, that's just me. That's all I have to say on it. Hopefully that's enough to get your brain ticking. Change some of the enemies, change the big boss, experiment, change the treasure, and have fun. And don't forget to click the like button.